On this episode of the Naturist Living Show, staffing at Bare Oaks.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show is brought to you by Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. At Bare Oaks, we offer traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Free your body, free your mind. www.bareoaks.ca.
Welcome, dear listener, to episode 79 of the Naturist Living Show. My name is Stéphane Deschênes. I'm your host for this podcast, and I am also the owner of Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. And as I said in earlier episodes, we had a fabulous summer that just went by. Probably had the best staff ever. We've had lots of great staff over the years, lots and lots of good ones. But it keeps growing as the park grows and as we have more demands and we want to maintain higher standard of customer service and we have more visitors. And so hiring has become more and more of a challenge. We had a challenging year the previous year. And there was a few staff members that did not work out well at all. We also had a change in management, which doesn't help. But we had a few staff members that were having some personal challenges themselves, and it caused the other staff members to feel resentment, because there's nothing worse on a team when you feel some parts of the team aren't doing their part, causes morale problems, and it can be difficult, though, to let people go in the middle of the summer because it's hard to replace them. You know, most of the staff that we hire are young people. There's a few that come back year after year that are older and more mature, certainly. There are some that are year-round, but most are short-term. They're seasonal because they have something else to do the rest of the year, and that's being in school. And that means that you get new ones every year often. But it also means that in the middle of summer, if you need an extra person or you need a replacement, finding a replacement in the summer can be challenging, because in the middle of summer, people are probably have a job. They've already found something to do, or they're unemployed because they can't find a job, and there might be a reason for that. That is exceptions. There's people who have difficulty finding jobs, and we did find a few people midsummer that turned out to be great over the last 9 years that my wife and I have owned the park. But this year I decided to take a different strategy, because one of the issues we used to hire some people because it was convenient. Some of them were convenient and they were good people. I'm not saying that was a problem. But we weren't always interviewing. We were hiring people from within the park. We were hiring children of the park members. And the problem is, if the child of a park member does not work out well, that it can be very difficult with the parents who are there to deal with, because they are also our clients and our members. Also, if everybody's a member of the park, they know each other, or they have their clique and their group of friends, and there might be some feelings amongst other members that certain people are getting more favorable treatment than others, or that things aren't fair. Usually that's not true, but that impression can be there. And sometimes when you know people a little too well, they can be a little too familiar. They can also convince you to tell you things you're probably not supposed to as staff, because you're privileged to confidential information. So this year I decided to advertise. And advertising, what I did is I placed ads in all the universities all around the area. We provide free accommodations, so even if the university is, hundreds of kilometers away, they can still come and stay for the summer. And certainly this year we had some people that came as far as Alberta to work with us. So that's not a problem. The problem is finding the people and letting them know about the opportunities. So most universities have a career services department, and you can post free advertising, and I did exactly that. But when you post free advertising, when you post ads for employment in general, you get a lot of applications, and that's where it's more work because you have to do a lot of follow-up. I know some people just call the ones that interest them, but I feel the need to follow up with everyone who bothered sending in an application. It always seems polite. That's a fair bit of work. Talk to them. Some of them with distance, doing interviews was a little bit more challenging. We had to be more creative, do it via Skype or by telephone. But at the end, we found some really, really great staff. And here's a few of them to tell you about why they decided to work at Bare Oaks and why it was the right job for them for the summer.
I'm Madison. I'm a student at U of T currently. My majors are German and linguistics.
So, do you have any experience with naturism?
Yeah, a little bit. I started in, I'd say, recreational naturism when I started visiting Hanlan's Beach 1 or 2 summers ago.
And so why did you decide to apply for this job?
Well, I saw it on the U of T job board, and I'm always just looking. I don't want to have a boring summer job, and I saw in the ad that it said this is a unique work environment, so naturally pretty curious, and the title of the place, Bare Oaks, is interesting. And yeah, I saw it. It looked like a friendly, awesome place. The job description was fun. I get to help out in a lot of different capacities around the park, and be surrounded by people who ideologically match up with what I believe. So yeah, seemed like a good idea.
And what did your friends think when you first told them that's what you were going to do?
My friends, they could see how excited I was to have found a job opportunity that was out of the ordinary and really uniquely paired to what I wanted to be doing. So they were pretty happy. They were curious and kind of incredulous, like, how do you sit? Like, isn't that unhygienic and stuff like that? But once you kind of get them accustomed to it, yeah, they're all pretty excited. They want to come visit. They know we've got a really great facility up here, and I told them how awesome everybody is. So, yeah, they're amped on it now.
They all want to come visit?
Yeah, my roommates want to come visit. There are some friends that I'm still working on, but, open-minded ones are pretty immediately excited to see the place.
Well, that's interesting, because I would have thought it would have been a bigger decision. You make it sound like, yeah, sure, let's go.
Yeah, well, we walk around in various states of undress in the apartment. It's not a big deal. We're all comfortable with our bodies. So, yeah, being in a place where the philosophy is to be comfortable and accepting, yeah, they're absolutely down with that.
My name is Kevin, and I'm currently working on a degree in environmental science.
Well, that's good. And you came from which area? You came the furthest, right?
Yes. I came from Alberta.
And what made you decide that you want to apply for this kind of job?
Well, I had recently lost my job, and I decided after working in that job for 5 years, I wanted a change of pace to experience more things. So I was at a naturist swim in Calgary, and someone suggested that I look for a job at a naturist resort. So I did, and I got this job.
And how's it been so far?
It's been wonderful. It's been very, very educational, very interesting. I learned a lot, and or not only about naturism, but also about just general how to do stuff, like very useful things in day-to-day life. So.
And how did your friends and family react when you told them that's what you were doing?
Well, they were okay with me going to a resort. I didn't really mention the naturist part to them, so they're unaware.
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But
do you think you might tell them?
Maybe one day eventually. Some family members, I think, would be very open to it. They'd be, okay, cool, that must have been awesome. Other ones, probably not so much, but I'll decide later based on their reactions. Probably hint at it, maybe test them out, test the waters to see how open they might be to it, or to even knowing that this is what I do sometimes.
My name is Marissa, and I go to Trent University in Peterborough, and I'm currently studying psychology and social work.
So have you had any experience before with naturism?
Nope, this is my first time. First meeting was my first time being nude in front of people. And first day working was my first full day being nude in front of people.
So why did you decide to do that?
Well, I was looking into a whole bunch of office jobs when I was applying, and I finished an interview and that I really wanted, and I was walking outside, and I thought to myself that, you know what, I don't really want to be in an office and be all, hi, how are you? Have a nice day. I wanted to be in the real world with people who were like me and people who understood me and who I could understand and develop my sense of self. And I heard of Bear Oaks through a friend, and then the next day I looked it up on the website and emailed you, said that I was looking for a job, and told you why.
So what has it been so far?
It's been really good. The first couple days, I'm not going to lie, I thought I was having a good time, and then sitting by myself, it took some time to reflect and really take it all in. But once I came to terms with everything, then I was good.
And what did your friends think when you told them you were doing that for the summer?
That they were surprised at first. They laughed at first, but then they came around to it. My one roommate really wants to come, and she's excited to come see me this summer. My other two roommates, both are interested in it, but their parents are like, no way, you're not doing that. But my one roommate was telling me she just came back from Cuba and got drunk and took her clothes off, and I was like, see, you can do it, you should come up. Now it's just convincing her parents to let her come.
Now, you've heard from Madison, Kevin, and Marissa. And I decided to start recording these after they were hired. But a little bit later, we did get an application. We had one more position open, and we did get an application. And for this one, I thought it'd be interesting to sort of record the process. Now, I've got to take a step back and tell you that a lot of people who applied for jobs were uninteresting. And that's because they were clearly using a generic form letter as a cover letter to send with their resume. Now, when you're applying to a job like Bear Oaks, your cover letter is everything. Because frankly, what does your resume mean? I mean, it's interesting to know what you've done in the past. It's interesting to know what you've studied. But most of your experience is fairly irrelevant. And even if you have no experience, we can teach everybody how to, man the store, clean the shelves, welcome guests, empty garbage cans, whatever needs to be done. We can teach that. And the odds are, even if they worked behind the counter of a hotel before, our system is completely different and our process is different. So the resume is not that important. What's important is the cover letter or email as to why they want to work there. I want people with passion. Obviously, I'm passionate about the movement, and the environment, the atmosphere is everything. So I want people I don't want people who just want a job. I want people who are passionate about naturism. And most of these folks are not naturists who are applying, but they're interested. And the ones who really are interested are the ones that got the jobs and that I wanted to hire. And so in Melissa's case, she sent a very passionate email. So I asked her to read it for you.
Hello, Bear Oaks. My name is Melissa Koenig, and I cannot express enough enthusiasm about emailing you today. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself and hopefully ask you a few questions you might have the answers to. The last year of my life has been about adventure, helping others, myself, finding ourselves, and being the best we can be. It's about taking a step out of my comfort zone to see what doors I have not opened and what future doors I could open. This is a very exciting time in my life. I am 22 years old and have come from a very conservative background. It has brought me to the path I am now. How could I not be grateful? This path involves me being myself, being happy about my body, being outgoing and compassionate human being. I love helping people through breaking physical and mental challenges. Being an extrovert that helps others see their potential is strongly important to me. I am a very active person, and I hope one day to have my own fitness club or a recovery center for the yoga, fitness, and health promotion that I want to bring into other people's lives. This is my dream. Why I am emailing you today is because I have just recently been to your naturist park for the first time 2 months ago and could not get enough, only to return for my second experience this month. The energy, the amazing people, the facilities, the recreation you have at your park is simply healing. I feel very privileged to have had these two beautiful experiences. These two experiences have made me incredibly curious and overly driven to know what it may feel like to participate as a team member at Barrow Oaks Naturist Park, to participate in the self-discovery and help others find the same wonderful feelings I discovered about myself. I've been doing a little bit of researching on your site and have seen that you have many different employment opportunities and would love a detour around those opportunities if possible. Also, I have questions on the living accommodations for employees if there are any. That may be private due to I am not an employee. I am just incredibly interested in the possibilities of working, living, and being a part of the atmosphere such as Barrow Oaks. Naturism is something I want to bring into my life all year round. The winter season is something I'm especially intrigued about and excited about beyond belief. I have heard so many wonderful things about people that have lived on the reserve. It sounds just as incredible as the summer. Overall, I am just very interested to get to know myself, your park, and naturism on a deeper level. Could you help me? I really appreciate the time you have given me thus far, and I hope you get this email. I will be in contact with the park in the near future. Hopefully the volleyball tournament in August goes great.
So based on that email, I definitely wanted to talk to her and interview her and know a little bit more. Now, with people who have limited experience with naturism, it's important before I make a job offer that I know that they're going to be comfortable in the environment. We have to have the meeting. So I arranged for Melissa to come up to the park. Because we're fairly remote, I picked her up at the bus station and drove her to the park. And with her permission, of course, I recorded the drive, and which was essentially the interview for the job. So you are interested in working at Barrow Oaks?
Yes. After the first time I went to Barrow Oaks, just the experience that I had and just the feelings of feeling comfortable with myself and the people around me and just the energy and the whole atmosphere in general is a very safe and accepting atmosphere. And the second time that I went, it was more clear to me that I wanted to be a bigger part of this picture and help people feel the same way that I've been feeling.
Now, why do you want to do it as work? I mean, you could keep going. You could come every week, every day if you want to. Why do you want to work there?
I would love to work there because I have never felt so sure and comfortable with an atmosphere in my life. I've just recently got a new job just downtown Barrie, and I've been through a few jobs over the last 2 years, but I just recently left my one job at Blue Notes in Barrie, and I've loved it. It's been a really good atmosphere. All the girls that have worked there, I've enjoyed the time and the experiences that I've had. But when I got to experience things at Barrow Oaks, I knew that was something that I wanted to be a part of every single day. And that is definitely something I'm going to bring into my life and in my everyday life. And over the last few months, I definitely have been. Whether it's in my own room, whether it's at certain beaches, whether it's in talking to my friends and trying to share my experiences through my vocal, aspects. Not a lot of my friends are as comfortable maybe as I am with the idea of things.
Why do you think you're more comfortable?
I'm still learning. And I think that's the greatest thing about it is that I'm in something in my life right now where I'm constantly doing and trying new things, and I have come from a very reserved family and now finding this newfound comfortability with literally down to my skin, down to my bones, and it has been so opening and such an amazing experience that I just have to learn more about, and I have to learn more about it so I can give it to people in this exact same way that I learned. Because over the last few years too, I've been doing new eating habits, I've been doing a lot of yoga, I've been doing so many different things to build myself up self-confidently, emotionally, physically. And all of these new things have been pushing me in so many great directions, and I'm wanting to follow those.
So why do you want to do different things? Why don't you just want to go to school, get a job, buy a car, buy a house, get married, have kids, all that stuff?
I've never... that is usually the typical thing to do, but I've always been someone for learning. That's always something that my mom's told me. She's like, always do new things, learn new things. Like, when you stop learning, that's when things stop. And I will forever remember that I want to continually learn new things. I've never been someone to just do the regular. I've always been interested in wild, crazy, fun things. I love getting out there. And this year, actually, I've made a list on my whiteboard of all the new things that I have done this year.
But, so you've done it. You've done naturism, but you seem to want to do more.
Yes, I do. And it's something that I just want to drag into my life. I would love to join into it, express it to other people, and maybe help people feel comfortable with themselves. And, again, feel the same way that I've been feeling about myself over the last few months and the things that I've been learning. And it has been greatly influenced by this park, and I feel that there's so much more influence to be had.
How did you find out that there was job opportunities? I mean, how did you obviously, you said your boyfriend had come before, and he convinced you to go.
He's been there before, and I noticed that there was a lot of young girls at the park, and there was people that were working there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've talked to them, and they're roughly around my age. We all got along so well. I was just like, I wonder if I could ever be one of these lovely ladies. Oh, it's such a beautiful place. It's its own Garden of Eden. It really is.
Now, you worked at Blue Note, which is a clothing store.
Yes, it is.
There's an interesting contrast there.
There is, actually.
So what did you learn from selling clothes? And what are your thoughts on that with regard to naturism?
That's really interesting, actually. I am someone that I fully respect everybody's wishes and everyone's own ideals about how they like presenting themselves and how they like to, the things that they like to wear, and because style and clothes is definitely a part of characterism, and people like to show their style and just certain things through the things that they wear, and I fully support the communication behind the sales and helping people feel good and comfortable within the things that they buy for themselves. That's something that I really liked doing. But it is funny and extremely contradicting because I have been recently getting into something that really requires absolutely no clothing.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly...
Well, clothing is often sold to people because it makes them not themselves. It makes them look different. It makes them maybe kid themselves about what they look like.
Yeah, feel comfortable with...
It maybe gives them status or makes them feel stronger because they believe others will perceive them as more important.
Yeah.
Or more successful or wealthier. I mean, was there any training in that job that told you how to do that?
I naturally and have been in sales for the last maybe 7 years. All of my jobs have required sales. I didn't really require a whole bunch of training for my Blue Notes job to, I guess, kind of get to where I was in that position. I was working there for about 2 years, and in the beginning it was very, very different because I would say, just turning 20 years old, maybe 19 years old. And it's hard when you just get into a sales position to kind of get comfortable and talk to random people and try to find out what their interests are within their clothing or what they like to kind of protect themselves with and cover themselves with, and everybody's different, and it's really interesting getting to know the different people, especially within the sales and with the people that you're going to be helping every day. And I learned a lot, especially just within communication, and again getting to know different people and different desires and comfortabilities. So I worked at a lot of different other sales stores as well. I've worked at LXXX, I've worked at the toy stores, the clothing stores, and within all of them, there's so many things everyone's in desire for, and everyone's coming in for different reasons. So you're always having to kind of step back, change your pace, kind of look at things in like a different perspective. And I think I definitely learned a lot of perspective and a lot of communication through the jobs that I've had.
You're coming for a job interview for naturism. So what was your thinking about what you were going to wear today?
I really did think about that. And of course, I was coming through different cities that weren't necessarily nude parks, so I couldn't not wear any clothes. But
true enough,
I probably would have come nude if it was fully appropriate for me to come on the Go bus. I'd be like, hello, here I am.
Well,
fully.
A lot of people have, asked themselves that question, especially the ones who've never been to the park.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. It says, so am I going to be wearing anything in the interview? Should I have something I can take off easily or not? There's all these questions that people would... You probably haven't had too many naturist or nude job interviews.
No, I never
Most people
have.
haven't, so yeah.
It's a really exciting first experience.
So your first experience when your boyfriend said, let's go to this place, what was your reaction?
Oh my goodness. I was nervous. I really didn't know if I was going to feel comfortable. And that was only about 2.5 months ago.
What were you concerned about?
I was concerned about my insecurity.
Which is?
About certain appearances on my body. And I've always been a very comfortable person, but there's been the few minuscule things that I've been just uneasy about, just because I haven't really seen many. I've seen nude bodies, plenty of them, but not really unless it's been in an intimate contact, or at a nude beach, or just kind of like things like that, or like just a regular beach where people were topless or something. And I was very open to the subject and the idea, just because of how I've been feeling over the last few months and the last year, and me doing all of these random, exciting, just new things to try to open new doors, see where life kind of leads me. And when I got to the park, we finally decided that yes, we're gonna go. We got to the park, and he stopped right before the office, and he's like, okay, take off your clothes. we're gonna go into the office. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
He didn't give you any time.
No. And I really actually appreciate him for doing that, because he knew me well enough that if I sat there and thought about it too much, like anybody, once you put too much thought into it, you're gonna scare yourself. Mm-hmm. You might back yourself down, you're gonna kind of turn yourself away, and I didn't want to do that, and I'm really happy he did that, and took off my clothes, walked into the office, met the other girls, and I was comfortable within 3 minutes. And I felt and thought it was so incredible, because I never thought I could feel that comfortable with my body, and just seeing everyone else feel incredibly comfortable with their bodies. And it was such a beautiful thing, because we are all so very reserved in this world, and we all live in a very just claustrophobic, smothering clothes and society, and I do not frown upon it. I agree with however anyone wants to live and how they want to feel comfortable and how they want to experience their experiences. It's totally up to them, right? Just how my experience in doing the naturism is mine. And I just find it incredibly fascinating how quickly my comfortability changed. And it was really accepting, and it was really open, it was safe, and it was a really amazing experience. It was a really, really amazing experience.
And needless to say, she got the job, and she has been a fabulous part of our team, as has been the whole team, all the folks you heard about from, and several you did not hear from. We had a great group this year, and several are coming back. Some are not, because they're pursuing other jobs that are more relevant to their career, or other things. They want to try different things because they're interested, which is great. Sometimes working in naturism is a fantastic experience, but it's not necessarily your career. and it's something you can add to your resume and to your list of things that you've done that's changed maybe a little bit the way you see the world and the way you think about yourself and others. So that's all for this episode of the Naturist Living Show. Thank you, as always, for listening. You can find links to the items we mentioned, which in this case is really just the jobs posting for Bare Oaks. If anybody's interested, though, feel free to apply as well. Please keep sending your comments and your emails and your suggestions. Always like reading them. The show's email address is naturistliving@bareoaks.ca. You can also call us and leave a comment. The show's number is country code 1, area code 905-473-6060, then it's extension 333. You can also call toll-free at 1-888-373-9124 or Skype us at Bare Oaks. In both cases, you end up into the main system for Bare Oaks, and you have to dial extension 333 for the Naturist Living Show mailbox. Join us again soon for the next episode of the Naturist Living Show.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show was brought to you by Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. Traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Traditional values means that naturism is more than just taking your clothes off. It is a life philosophy with physical, psychological, environmental, social, and moral benefits. Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park strives to promote those naturist values in a modern setting that provides the amenities and services that our members and visitors expect. Free your body, free your mind. Learn more at www.bareoaks.ca.